What am I going to do on this one? I am going to talk to you about content creation because it's super important to me that you guys get the concept of putting out tons and tons of content around your business, okay? If you don't, then you will be the best kept secret in town. You really, really, really need to get to the point where you are constantly putting out and flooding the marketplace with lots of value, lots of content, lots of articles, videos around your business and what you do, okay? I've probably said it enough times, but it still astounds me the amount of people that don't actually put out a lot of content, or they're putting out one video a week or 2 videos a week or something. It's just not enough in this busy world. We've got so many messages pushed to us every single day that we don't hear your 1 or 2 little videos or your 1 video and your 1 article. It doesn't penetrate our mind because it's just not enough in this busy world. So here's what I'm going to do on episode 50. You put your phone number below. I'm going to help you. For those of you who are struggling with content creation, like I don't know what I could put out or I don't have any ideas, I'm going to give you a structure, but I'm also going to help you. So you need to put your phone number in the comments. One of my team will call you and I will help you come up with what you should produce content for. So here's, I guess, my thing, right? And I've talked about this before, but I absolutely love it. My favorite word right now, I'm going to change that to white, is the word ubiquitous. The word ubiquitous. It's a phenomenal word. It's a little bit like omnipresent, except omnipresent only God can be. Omnipresent is everywhere all the time. Ubiquitous is seemingly everywhere. You need to be ubiquitous. You need to be seemingly everywhere. People need to find out about your business when they turn on their phone, when they turn on the TV, when they turn on the radio, when they drive down the high street, when they're talking to a friend, when they go to a networking event. They need to hear about your business, okay? You need to have that top of mind umbrella, that top of funnel awareness, because if you don't have that, then people ain't buying from you, okay? And then business is really tough. You've got to at least put yourself in front of them and let them self-select if they want to find out more. And you know, you can do radio and you can do TV and you can do billboards and they're all good, but they're prohibitively expensive to start with. Whereas social media right now, you can be putting a video on LinkedIn and 19 people can see it. Now you might be thinking, well, what's 19? It's 19 more than you would have if you didn't produce it, okay? So that's where we've got to get to. The reason why we put out this show, the reason why we got to 12,000 followers on Facebook, the reason is because we pumped this stuff out and we gave value and people shared it and people liked it and so forth, okay? So you need to do the same. Doesn't matter whether you're a plumbing business, a taxidermist, an accountant, it doesn't matter what business you've got right now, you need more people to know about you, and that's what I want to spend our time on today, is content creation. Because I find so many people, by the way, put your phone number in and I'm going to help you. I'm going to dig out the content for you, at least get you started with the first 10 to 15 bits of content. It's about doing it sustainably, because if every single time you want to put out a piece of content, you have to think about it and engineer it and think it all through, it's too slow, okay? It's too slow. If you have to sit, if you've got to spend 10 minutes coming up with a video, and I'm telling you need to put out content every single day across, 7 to 10 platforms, you just won't do it. It's too much of a task. And so I understand that. And that would be too much of a task for me too, to sit there and go, what are we going to put out today, and have to think through it all, and what do we do for YouTube, and what do we do for LinkedIn, and what do we do for Facebook, and what do we do for da-da-da-da-da. Okay, it would be too much of a task. And so I've got a couple of hacks of things that you can do to make your life easier and take off the pressure of having to be the genius that comes up with it every single time. So, part number 1, okay, because it's too hard. If you have to do it all, we're going to enlist the help. Here we go. We're going to capture what's already happening in your business, okay? We're going to capture what's already happening, okay? So if you currently have boardroom meetings, ask permission if you can film them, and cut the bits out where you give insane amount of value. If you currently go to clients, then when you walk out of the meeting with a client, storytell very, very quickly. Like, grab your device, stand there and go, right, I was just in with a client and here's what I said to them. I said A, B, and C, and this is what it means for them. All right? Capture what's already happening. If you go to a client's place, let's say you're a plumber, and you're diagnosing plumbing issues, then on the spot say, right, I'm here at a house in Southport, and I had a client that told me this, and so I have just done this, and make it valuable for them to be able to go home and do. There is content in your world around you, like for 50 hours a week or more. You've just got to start capturing what you're already doing in bite-sized chunks and start to put that stuff out online, okay? You are already giving value to your clients and your team and your industry all day long. Start to think about being okay with talking to a camera, writing articles, taking photos, whatever it is that you want to do, okay? For example, the other day, I did a podcast episode with Dave Balestri. By the way, you should go and listen to that podcast. It's really, really good. It's on iTunes and Google Podcast. It's episode 6 of the Leadership Series, and it was an amazing podcast. Well, hang on a minute, I need content. So while I'm recording a podcast, I also stick a camera in the room and live stream it to YouTube. Why? Because it's already happening. I just want to capture it and make it good. Now, here's a funny thing. Once I've caught it, what could I then do? I could cut that into 5 mini bits of information and put those out online, okay? Once you capture what's already taking place, you can then chop that up, okay? And by the way, you're not having to come up with all of this because you're just capturing what you're doing and taking for granted all day, every single day. Then you've got more content you'd ever need to distribute, right? If you make things for clients, you stop halfway through making and go, right, I had a client that asked me for this. This is my solution. You should go and do that too, okay? It can be a rogue handheld video. It can be a camera like the one we're filming on. It can be an article. It can be an audio recording. Just start capturing what you are already doing, okay? That's the name of the game here. So I mean, we're putting out about 178 pieces of content a week across Facebook, on my personal and the business, and Instagram and LinkedIn and YouTube and whatever else, okay? Podcasts, Apple iTunes, Google Podcast. Across all of those, that's how many pieces of content. And by the way, it's nowhere near enough, okay? So I couldn't put out that volume if I had to come up with everything. What we do really well is I stand here for 40 minutes twice a week, and then we chop this up into content and we push it out, okay? You need to start thinking about doing the same, okay? You are putting out valuable content all day, every day, but you just need to think about capturing what you're already doing, okay? A little commentary around what you take for granted will make really good content, hints, tips for your prospects, for your tribe. All right, the second one that we're going to talk about here is ask them. Ask them what they want to hear about. Was that really bugging you? Oh yeah, I can see the delay. It's really bugging me too, now that I can see it. Thanks, Patrick. Thanks, Dad. Ask them. Okay, who are we going to ask? We're going to ask customers. We're going to ask team. We could ask our suppliers. Why don't we go to an audience and say, hey, I want to become the educator in my space. I want to start putting out valuable content. What would be valuable for you? Start asking a whole bunch of people what would be valuable. They'll give you their questions. They may give you answers, or they may give you questions for you to answer, and then just go and answer their questions. Now you only have to give your professional 2 cents. You don't have to come up with what you want to produce content around, okay? When we first launched Business Greenhouse TV in 2015, it was a pre-recorded show, not live like this one. It was a pre-recorded show, and all I did was emailed our database and our Facebook fans and all that sort of stuff. What would you like more information on? Write me a question, and then I answered their questions online. And it blew up. We built a massive following, and it really put us on the map. And I didn't have to come up. All I had to do was go, that's a really good question. I'll answer that one. That's a really good question. I'll answer that one, and give my 2 cents. And that's a lot less pressure than having to come up with all of the content and make sure it ties together, okay? So I just asked my customers what they want more information on. You could do the same with your team. You could do the same with your suppliers. What would you like? What can we put out more content on? Get the collective ideas and start chipping away at that stuff time and time again. And then another one that I like is client success stories. But I see most people do it badly. Okay? I'm going to say without the slimy agenda. Because most people do a client success story and then straight to a come and buy from me, or you can have a story like this. No. Stop going for the short term and start going for building a brand. Start doing, if you do a client success story, the market have worked out that you know what you're talking about. You don't have to, do a sleazy, I'm telling you this, and then reach around and try and grab their wallet. You don't need to do that. You can just brand the success story with your company, with you maybe interviewing them. We don't need a sales pitch now because the fact that you branded it in such a way and the context was branding, you don't have to do a real hard pitch and be slimy with the ask. You will get the credibility of hosting that party without needing to ask someone to date you, okay? So right now, I guess what I'm saying is this. There are people around you all the time, okay? There are people around you, there is stuff around you, activities around you all the time that you could interview, capture. You will fall over with content creation if you are trying to sit there to come up with it all.